Welcome to Nuance with Nikki, the nitty gritty, even if it's not pretty. I am going to make a plea to those who will listen, right? To just respect the privacy right now of Sia and Rachel Kolisi. Now, I know you won't, but I just want you to know that every time you write on those comments, you aren't really saying anything about Sia and Rachel that they haven't thought about themselves. I'm speaking as a divorcee. All you are showing by what you comment there is how you were raised. Some of you have been raised to think that there is some magic Jesus sauce that makes you so much holier than others. And so you dare from that arrogant place go up to divorcees and type things or say things like, oh no, they're ungodly and you'd be so much more godly in them. Oh, this is not what Jesus would want. And you're giving them a cloak of shame and filth. Okay? I encourage you strongly to reflect on whether or not Jesus would want you to be a sanctimonious piece of cock with a stick up your poo. Okay. If you really want to make a profound difference, how about hands off the keyboard and do what your Jesus said, which is get into your room on your knees. Intercede. That's your damn job here. Judgment isn't. Okay? The very fact that you waited for a non-Christian to tell you that should actually embarrass you. Number 2. The people using this as an opportunity to hate on interracial relationships. Just who the heck do you think you are? You guys actually come from a myth that interracial relationships are somehow more flimsy than monoracial relationships, when your very logic and reason, if you had any, would tell you differently. If you have had 10 girlfriends in your life and you are purple, I am willing to bet that 9 of those girlfriends have also been purple, right? But if you've broken up with 10 girls and 9 of them were purple, guess what? You've had 90% monoracial breakups. There aren't enough interracial relationships for you to even make that comparison. It's false. It's literally based on nothing but bias. There is no basis in fact there. In fact, what fact should show you, especially before our period, but in periods, you live in a country where the year I was born, the year before I was born, 1985, interracial relationships were for the first time legal. You should know that those people in this country specifically loved each other against the grain, and many of them are still together. You cannot compare apples with oranges. You cannot compare a relationship that has had that much pressure against it and then go, oh, this is an equal comparison, because many interracial relationships have had 10 times the pressure and have shown 10 times the tenacity. Okay? On the other hand, there are other people saying, but your relationship symbolizes our rainbow nation. It is not their responsibility to make their sexual and emotional choices based on your preferences for them. Okay, whether you are pro interracial relationships and you think that other people have to make their marriage choices and divorce choices based on what you emotionally need, or whether you are anti-interracial relationships and you buy into notions of them being the original sin because you actually believe race is more than a construct, right? I'm not even sure if you're ready for this conversation, but whatever it is, what you should understand is something called bodily autonomy, which means that anytime you pressurize somebody, let's say a parent refuses to let their child date the race they want to date, or tries to force them to date the race or the sex they want to date, that is a form of sexual abuse by proxy. It's called rape culture. Okay? It's rape culture. Expecting anybody to make their sexual choices as you would is a form of sexual abuse by proxy. You're a mental gang rapist. Back off. Back off. Okay? It's okay to be disappointed and hurt. What you cannot do right now is add to the weight and the pain that Sia and Rachel are going to through your own ego. I don't know exactly who raised you. I don't know exactly who you think you are. Okay, a divorcee does not need your sanctimoniousness. A divorcee does not need you to say how you would do so much better in shoes you've never walked. If you are so fortunate as to have had your first marriage work out, you are not somehow someone's moral superior. You were lucky. How do I know? I'm in my second marriage and I'm guk lucky. I'm incredibly lucky. And let me tell you something. A person doesn't have to be a bad person for it to mean what I've learned through my 2 marriages, twice as much marriage experience as you have, is that marriage is only hard when you're married to the wrong person. Right? And I thought you said they weren't the wrong person. I said it's so much more complex. It's so much more complex than race. Take that out. Let's have a contextual, grown-up conversation. Okay? Sometimes relationships, and this is an adult conversation, guys, relationships run their course. It happens. Sia and Rachel need nothing from us right now but our undeserved and unreserved support, or at the very least for us to ignore them. You are not some kind of hero when you add to their pain, when you humiliate them, when you throw mud on their name, when they're walking through the valley of a shadow worse than death. Okay? Having a divorce is not something that you do the way that you get a manicure. It's something that you do the way that you have cancer surgery. It's something that you do the way that you chew your foot out of a chain. Okay? Marriage is complex. It has spiritual, financial, emotional, intellectual. It intersects so many, many things. Add to that the fact that we live in a world where we have 3 times the life expectancy than we did back when we decided to make a vow called till death do us part. Those people only lived until the age of 28. Okay? Summers happen. Winters happen. But I assure you, your disappointment or your schadenfreude is nothing compared to the weight that Sia and Rachel are carrying. So if you think I'm full of cuck, go ahead. But my last discouragement to you will be this. Do not, through your sense of superiority, invite into your life, whether you're dealing with Sia and Rachel Kolisi or any other divorcee, do not invite the curse into your life that judgment and the sense of superiority opens you up to. Okay? So to Sia, to Rachel, I don't know what happened. You have my full support. I know this is not easy. You are not alone. You are not filthy. You are not broken. You will get through this. The only way out is through. Stay strong. Keep hoping. One day at a time. And the sun will come out very soon. Okay, sending you love. This has been Nuance with Nikki, the nitty gritty, even if it's shitty. If you have anything hateful to say, please go take that to whichever corner you were badly raised in. To the rest of you, if you think that I had a point or I made you think, please go ahead and give me a like. Thank you so much.
Sliding into Rachel Khaleesi's DMs. Hoe gaan dit? Baie jammer. Ek is hier. Sal jy 'n shoulder om te cry aan? So from Safa Sisterhood, dear men, let's have a quick chat, eh? So a couple gets divorced or separated, and your first move is sliding into her DMs. Then you go and brag publicly that you, quote, shot your shot, unquote. Honestly, what are you expecting? A ton of Lucky Star? If you really want to be a friend, how about doing it with some actual sincerity instead of fishing for a rebound like it's the sardine run? Emotional trauma is no joke, and right after a breakup or divorce, people are at their most vulnerable. Your timing? Poor. Your approach? Cease. Now, we're not saying all men, but if the shoe fits, please don't wear it. Love, your Safa sisters. Hashtag do better. Hashtag support, not shoot.